Manchester United return to Premier League action this Sunday. Cannot wait for the start of the Premier League. We're playing West Ham United at home, so home game, start of the season. Really looking forward to this. Got the pre-season out the way, got the Super Cup out the way. Only lost 2 games out the whole pre-season, so we're in relatively good form. Only lost to Barcelona and Real Madrid, so the two of the best teams in Europe. So can't really complain there about just losing them too. The other games, okay, the pre-season's nothing to gauge come the start of the season, but we won the rest of the games. Even beat Real Madrid on a penalty shootout in the pre-season, which not too much to shout about, to be honest, but this is where it gets started. You cannot start off slowly in the Premier League, or you could be adrift. We started off okay last season. The first few games we won till we got to that Man City game. Then we started to fall away. We had a good run then where we won about 7 or 8 Premier League or whatever it was on the trot. Then we drew too many games. So Manchester United have got to start off well this season. Got to get a decent start hopefully and give ourselves a lot of confidence and boost going moving further. But obviously Man City started off well last season and didn't end up winning the Premier League. It is obviously where you finish, but you do not want to have a horrendous start and having to do catch up. So Manchester United have got to be prepared for this weekend's game against West Ham. West Ham have signed some more players, added to their squad, certainly in the forward positions. Manchester United also with added 3 new players to the Manchester United squad. Hopefully we're going to see as good a strength lineup as we can for Manchester United this coming Sunday. We've got Eric Bailly coming back into the defence, which should help Manchester United massively. He is Manchester United's best defender for me, certainly in the centre-back positions anyway. Obviously David Gea will start in goal. Should be Darmian at left-back, and obviously not the best left-back in the world, but we're going to have to do something about that left-back position over the coming weeks. Whether Luke Shaw comes back from injury and plays there. When he had a run in the team before he broke his leg was fantastic, but really needs to get a good run in the team for him to fulfil his potential. You have obviously Valencia at the right-back position. And it's going to be interesting. It probably be Eric Bailly and Lindelof, but definitely going to be Eric Bailly anyway. But whether it's Lindelof or someone else, we'll have to wait and see. But they're the 2 I'm going to go for anyway in the starting lineup. Lindelof has looked on time shaky in the pre-season, but hopefully will improve for Manchester United and get better. Now in midfield, Herrera probably not his best game against Real Madrid, but it will probably be Pogba, Herrera and Matic in midfield. Then Mkhitaryan on one side. He's probably going to go for Lingard again, or maybe Rashford, I'm not too sure. Be one of them 2. I can't see him starting with Martial, to be honest. He doesn't seem to, unless Martial starts getting consistent with his games. Okay, hasn't always been picked on a regular basis, but if he does give him 3 or 4 games, he's got to get his consistency together, or he's going to spend a lot more time on the bench. So I would expect Lingard or Rashford to be out wide, and then it will be Romelu Lukaku obviously up front. Now that team should really, for Manchester United, be good enough to beat West Ham. West Ham should be better than last season. I'm expecting, with Javier Hernandez signed, I believe they will score more goals. They've really been lacking a goal scorer up front because Andy Carroll is absolute dog shit for me, not good enough and always injured. On his day, yeah, he can be a big track back bully, can really be a problem, nuisance up front like Fellaini, but I'm just not a big massive fan of them sort of players, and the fact that he's always injured anyway just is a waste of time. And they've brought Arnautovic as well from Stoke, more of an instinct player for me. When he goes through on goal, isn't that convincing for me. So if he has a shot from 25 yards, it'll probably fly in, but that's him. But you've got the poacher in Javier Hernandez to put things in the back of the net, so we've really got to watch out for him, because we know what strikers can do when they come back to Manchester United and haunt us when they've played for Manchester United in the past. So he's going to be the main danger, but I think Manchester United have to get over the line in this game. It will be an absolute disastrous start if they don't win the first one at Old Trafford. Now I'm looking at the other fixtures of the top teams, and a lot of them have got games on paper that you would expect them to win. I think Chelsea got Burnley, you got Tottenham with Newcastle, you got Arsenal with Leicester, Liverpool with Watford, and Man City have got Brighton. So you would expect a lot of them other top teams to win. So if they do win and Manchester United do drop points, then it's going to be catch up already at the start of the season, and that's not what you want to do. you don't want to get sloppy in the first few games, because the first few games are just as important as the last few games for me. You've got to be winning as many games as possible over the season in order to win the title. And we've seen in the past teams like Arsenal not being prepared. Certainly they weren't prepared last season for the Premier League title, and they lost their first game at home to Liverpool, and the second game they drew away at Leicester. So that just shows you that if you're not prepared, that's points dropped at the start of the season already. That's 5 points they dropped at the start of last season, and that probably was a downfall in costing them the Champions League spot. So we've got to be ready for this. I'm hopeful that Manchester United can get over the line. We've got options on the bench as well, but the likes of Juan Mata still to come into the Manchester United team. Martial will probably be on the bench. One of Jesse Lingard or Rashford will be on the bench. Fellaini will be on the bench. So we're getting better options for Manchester United. I mean, we played the top team in Europe in the week in that Super Cup. I'm still not sure we're at the top end of it to win the title this season, but we should really, with the amount of options we've got now, at least be challenging for the title and scoring more goals than we did last season. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Oh, and my prediction will be 2-1 for the game to Manchester United. I think we will win the game. So like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See ya.